So it is Saturday, it's October 21st, and we are currently planning for this upcoming unit topic C. And at the moment, we are 2 weeks behind the Baltimore City scope and sequence. So our goal is to condense this unit that's supposed to be actually like around like
10 lessons.
10 days of content, right?
It's,
And we're trying to get it into 6 days of content. So we're using Heart District, Heart District's curriculum, and we're also using our interactive notebooks
to condense the Eureka
mm-hmm.
Into the given amount of time. So far I think we've basically established that day one we should be assessing to see what they already know, since transformations is something they should have already seen in 8th grade. So I think at least at the end of class they should take or even at the beginning, whichever, they should be taking a diagnostic, which will be what we use as their unit tests at the end so we can see their growth. That diagnostic we could also use for purposeful groupings throughout the week. And once we've established who knows what and how much. So I'm thinking Monday we basically do an introduction, lesson 12 essentially, of the Eureka curriculum. So an introduction to the 3 different types of of transformations. And we should also go over the definitions for rigid motion, pre-image, image, on Monday. I think that's going to be like essential vocab that they need to know. So going over those 3 types, and it seems like the curriculum also really emphasizes the distance preserving versus angle preserving, and which ones are and aren't. So that should be within Monday's lesson. Then I think we should just break up each of the transformations and do 1 day a piece, which would carry us, because of the half day on Thursday, till Friday.
I like that, but my concern is, I don't know, I think I want to save Friday for like a day where we combine all 3. So like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we give like 1 day each.
Okay. So you want to do like a half day intro, rotations, right. Then the next day should be reflections, and then translations to finish it out.
I think translations is actually easiest to start.
Yes, I would have actually started. I prefer to start with translations.
Okay, so translations.
But to be clear, the curriculum does start with rotations.
I guess we can look deeper into that.
I think it's okay I actually think it's okay to diverge. It's okay to diverge because it's purposeful. I think the concept of a slide is easier to understand than the concept of a rotation.
But we're also giving them 3 days to understand what a rotation looks like.
Yeah, you're right.
Rotations.
Yeah, give them that time for the scaffolding, which we can further embed in the do now.
And then translations, or
I think in the curriculum it's reflections.
Okay. All right, let's do that. That's a good idea. And so on Monday we're also going to be assigning them that vocabulary thing. I think we should have it due maybe like have it due Friday or Monday?
It should be due Friday.
Due Friday, okay. So I guess I'll take the Heart District's thing, vocab list.
Okay.
And edit it down from there because they've got quite a few
So they
words.
do rotations, reflections. Then they have a discussion of the word symmetry, which I think we should talk about on the day we do reflections.
Okay.
Just a quick overview of what a symmetry, line symmetry, rotational symmetry, and identity symmetry.
Okay.
And
That sounds
then translations on Wednesday.
good. Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. So basically, that following Monday, we're planning on giving 3 concept assessment quizzes, right?
Correct,
Each
yeah.
Okay.
So I think we should take a look at the standard associated with the unit and work on meeting it, since we're doing our unit planning today. Okay, so looking now at the standards, so it looks like according to Baltimore City Scope and Sequence, the major standards we're focusing are on representing transformations in the plane, so that GCO A2, GCO A3, GCO A4, GCO A5. So those are all supporting standards, but it looks like they're going to have to describe transformations, compare transformations that preserve distance and those that do not, have definitions for rotations, reflections, and translations, and sequences of transformations. Another thing that the curriculum really emphasizes, and that is also a standard that BCPS includes, is making constructions. So actually using our tools of constructions to understand these various transformations.
So we're going to be using the new compasses and patty paper. Is that just for rotations?
I think you could actually use them to perform any of them.
Right.
So
is this something that we want to assess? Because if we're not assessing it, I think I'd just rather like give it to them like on a Friday, like to tie in their understanding.
I think they're actually going to need it to accurately perform the transformations and describe sequences of transformations. Okay. So like without using the tool, I don't think they're going to have as deep an understanding.
Okay.
So then let's take a look at what our objectives should be, and then align them with our daily exit tickets, if we're doing exit tickets on a given day. So for
lesson 13 on transformations, it tells us that the student outcome is for them to be able to manipulate rotations by each of the following parameters. So center of rotation, so center of rotation, the first one, second, angle of rotation, and a point under the rotation. And so like, I think from like past experience, the more difficult one is like rotating under that point, other than like the center of rotation, right? So
say that again?
So like from last year, I remember like our students struggling with rotating rotating about a certain point.
Right. So that brings us to this year where we're actually not using a coordinate plane. So they will always be rotating about a point.
Mm-hmm.
There is no use of the origin.
Do you think it's worth... Okay. So rotating from... Wait. But then if it says rotating about the center of rotation... Is that center of rotation?
So center of rotation doesn't refer to... It's the center of rotation is a point that they use to rotate. Right. It doesn't mean the origin.
Okay.
So it could be like, if we were on a coordinate plane, it could be like 1, -2. But in our instance, where they're not using a coordinate plane, it's just going to be whatever random point in that space they've chosen. Like if you look at examples on page number